Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What's up, friends? Welcome back to the TV Terminal. My name is Adam Bale, senior editor over at thecoalition.com.
My name is Josh Lamage, writer for the Coalition.
And we are back. We're almost to the end of this one, people. Chief of War, Season 1, Episode 8, The Scarred New Grove. Oh, man. The Sacred?
Yeah.
What? Did I say scarred? Oh, man, sorry.
Yeah.
Sacred. See, look at that. Scrap that. Oh, sorry. This is what's going on. Let's not restarting. We had some technical issues going into this one. All kinds of issues going on with StreamYard and audio not kicking in and turning off, and the link's not working. It was a headache. So sorry about that. But yes.
But I mean, you're not so far off with calling it scarred. I mean,
it was brutal. It was brutal, man. And that's the other thing. It scarred my heart. We lost some members here, but we lost Nahi. Oh, Nahi, I should say.
You're dropping the bomb right now, Adam.
I'm dropping it, man, because people have watched it. If you're tuning into this,
I know some people listen along and they follow.
All right, well, they could do that too, but man, this was brutal. A lot of filler in this episode, but the parts that didn't fill were just I got questions. Hopefully we could answer them for you guys as well, or maybe in the comments. Go ahead and answer some of our questions. We just got to unpack this because a lot happened in this, good and bad. But real quick, thanks again for people that've been tuning in through this entire season. It's been interesting, very interesting. You know, some people are enjoying it, not just for this, but just Chief Award. Other people fell off. We had one dude put in the comments like, I hope there isn't a second season. It doesn't see it happening. I get it. I get it because the show is all over the place. First, it's trying to tell us one story, and then it throws another story. And I get it. During this time, a lot happened. You had tribes going against each other from different islands, or I should say, different kingdoms going against each other. Then you have the pale skin coming, bringing in all their drama and issues happening. But it's like some people are addressing that, and some groups and others are not. And that's what's causing the confusion.
The thing is, you can have all those narratives flowing around. There's plenty of shows that do that, but it's the sense of like every episode feels like the episode before. Like the first 3 episodes had movement to it, had the traveling, had the fighting, had some ideas going on. The last 3 episodes at least have almost been the same thing. Are we going to join? Are we going to use the red mouth weapons? Are we going to trust Kayana? Are we going to trust Kamehameha? It's the same thing. I mean, a lot more.
It's dragging.
It's just dragging a tad. Which makes you think, like, did they have the whole story written down and they were just like, okay, how can we translate this into 8 episodes? No, don't get me wrong. This episode wasn't horrible.
Well, like, just to go get more into the whole translate. 1 minute it's in Hawaiian and next minute it's in English. And they're doing this within mid-conversation, like the part with Ka'ana and Kamehameha. Are they really having that type of discussion? Are they flipping it like when you're talking to someone in English or Spanglish and that whole thing back and forth? Is that what we're supposed to see? Or if for the viewers, then just stick to one, right? Again, if I'm wrong, then put in the comments. Would you prefer it was all in subtitles, or are you okay with just the English? Or would you have liked it if they did where some shows they'll start off in the native language of whatever they're going with, and then they just fade out into English, and it's just for you, the viewer, that it's in English, but you're supposed to know that they're speaking in their native tongue.
Well, it's only certain characters that are speaking English, and then I noticed that it's always something very important. I guess they just want us to latch onto.
I guess, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, if that's the case, then do the whole thing with none of it's. There was a lot of great dialogue that was all in Hawaiian that was going on with the other tribes when we got the Ohoponi, right, and all the drama and all the stuff that he doesn't speak English, and he was saying some brutal things.
Yeah, well,
but let's get into it, people.
So we could open up with the first image. It's really crazy. So we have a Kopoi here. Everyone's screaming still. The if you remember from the last episode, the the sailors were about to take off, and they shot cannons of nails.
Oh, it was nails. That was a brutal beach attack. Oh,
and you see someone in the beach for this lady. They flip her over, and her face is smushed in, and everything's very graphic. And props to the makeup artist for making this all look crazy. But whole beach is filled. Kapoi screaming for help. It's just devastation. Kayana's running around, looking around. They find Vi dead, based on her.
well, we knew when she went running out there to save that girl. Yeah.
I just wish more.
But did the girl survive? That's the thing. We didn't see if the girl survived that she fell on. I think she died also.
Possibly, but
right?
I feel like there was just no. Well, there was two people holding her. There was someone on the left, and then her son on the right. So there's two people over her. I'm not sure if there was the girl there, but
so maybe that
I thought it was a guy or something. But yeah, it could have been the girl. But it's interesting. Like it just left so many more questions for Vi and everything, and the whole thing that she was. I don't know. I just expected.
I think the story that's done. I think it's done because Kaana never really interacted with the son at any point, so he doesn't even know. I don't even know if he knows that's the son.
I mean, he went and kissed his forehead.
Oh, you're right. He did. So then he gets off camera because they never met on camera. That never happened.
Well, I think he's assuming he knows. He sees this kid crying. He knows
I guess.
But again, like there was no sense of like getting to know the kid for a little bit. That
no.
It gives the gravitas to this whole situation. I mean, it's like it sucks, but then Kamehameha walks in and he's just like looking over the whole situation, and
he flips. Kaana flips. He wants to go at him. His wife, Kaana's wife shows up. It's like, no, not here, not here. It's like, what? Not this? Where else then? Look what just happened.
I couldn't tell like his expressions like Kamehameha's, at least. He was just like looking like he looked sad. It was like a
he doesn't give
like a I couldn't, you know what I mean?
He doesn't give a lot of expressions. I don't know if it's just the direction with the director just telling me, hey, just stand in this lighting and then just give this bewildered look. I don't know. It's weird. I get what you're saying here, is because you're expecting more, maybe the jaw to drop open or some reaction. You want to see some expression on the face, but he doesn't do that. He just, I don't know. That's a shock look. I guess
later on you find out there's a sense of guilt, so maybe it's just that shock, guilt, and all that. And I don't know if you notice this, but Kayana's outfits just continuously change depending on what's happening. So like he's in like full I guess sailor. Kayana's like sailor.
Oh, yeah, with the pale skin pants and
he's like the sailor's garb, pretty much. Then like the next scene it cuts, and now he's back in his Maui garb. And they talk about 248 are dead, many are wounded and probably won't survive. And he goes up to Kamehameha and he's like, "This is your fault."
Oh, man. Yeah, the councilman, he's just on his own.
Kamehama's dad, right?
Yeah, he's just all about how this is just the way things are through progression. That Kamehameha was the chosen one. This is all gone. Yeah, he doesn't want to see it for what it is. He's like, no, it's your fault. You're not the leader here. Kamehameha is the leader. If you weren't here, this wouldn't have happened. Really?
One minute he seems really wise and stuff, and the next it's just like, because I thought he was going to use his daughter as a political pawn and this whole thing. He really doesn't care. He just wants to appease Kamehameha, it seems.
Yeah, exactly. At first, we thought he was putting his daughter in that position for power. This was a political play, right? It's like, hey, you're going to be and she even, remember, he said, you are going to be his guiding light. You are going to be the person that he confides in. You're going to, he listens to you. Yeah. We never see the other wives. So let's just cut them out of this. But as if like this is going to be that like it's a power play, but no. It's all about Kamehameha and blaming Kaana for all of this.
Kamehameha brings up like, this is the destiny of like what is meant to happen. And he's like, well, what about the destiny of those that died? You know what I mean? Like, you're following this prophecy. Where is it going to lead you? And then he goes to lunge at Kamehameha's dad. Kamehameha's dad is quick, but he had a knife right at his heart. It's surprising me, like a lot of people I miss, and this happens multiple times in this episode, that you think like could be overtaken kind of easily, and they could all hold their own. We have this guy later on. We have Kaikili and Kiowa later on. Like
Well, no,
everybody, like you thought maybe, they can't. They're with it. They're with it. So,
it's a
um,
tough life. It's a tough life. It's part of it. It's like you got to just train to protect yourself, not just feed yourself, but protect and just prepare for anything. Which is why I'm surprised with Kamehameha and the way he's reacting with all of this. It's like it just doesn't seem like it makes much sense. It's like, all right, first you have the attack with the ship and all this. That should set you off right there. But no,
yeah,
he's just like just standing there stone faced, like, no,
I
no.
think I think he's trying to like figure out what to do. He's really conflicted on like how to not shed more blood. But then kind of looks at him and he goes, if you are to lead our people, they will die like the rest. And he walks off. And then Kalmano follows him. And she's like, there's still more to do. And he's like, I'm not going to follow a man that leads all of us to danger. I'm leaving. And she's like, you know what's coming. And well, he says, you know what's coming. And she's like, I'm staying with Kamehameha. I'm standing by him. And then he's like,
Well, yeah,
prepare yourself.
yeah, because that's her husband. But again, this doesn't make much sense. He has the weapons. He says, let's use it. Kamehameha is like, no, they have no place here. Well, look what just happened. If this is brutal. This was a
You
brutal
see, because
attack.
they're doing exactly what I thought would happen initially when he showed up was like staying in their old ways, viewing the weapons as like some kind of outside influence that they don't need. Because remember, their power, their mental state of power right now
Yeah.
rests on their idea of the gods and spiritualism.
Yeah. And
So
it
they,
comes up again. In fact, tonight I think about it because I was looking at my notes. It was that one there, and then it's later on with the whole Maui and
yeah,
and all that, and that same thing. He brings it up, and he's like, no, they have no place here again. Like,
and
oh,
and it's funny like the mix of fate with coincidence that consistently happens. Like even when Kamehameha brought it up, like in previous episodes where he moved the rock that like no one else could move. And then he said that the ground shifted beneath him and it just happened
yeah.
to move. Like there's like these like
But that's what I'm saying. It's like with that, to just acknowledge, like, obviously in his head, he knows he feels that he's not the chosen one. Like he just said with the story of the rock. Oh, I didn't really move it; it was its hand. Then who are you fooling? You need guidance, and we've already heard it before. The two need to work together. Kamehameha and Kaana need to work together. And he just doesn't want to do it. And the councilman is not helping at all. I thought maybe he would contribute in some way, but he's not. He's just there to be a yes man to Kamehameha. No,
yeah,
no, do
basically
him, do it.
it's such a
So
glazing.
come
It's
on
crazy.
now, come on.
But then we get a little bit into Kayana. I mean, into Kamehameha's mindset here because it cuts and he's sitting cross-legged across from Kaumanu and he's like, was I wrong for not following Kayana's word and not following? None of this would have happened had I just followed him. And she's I mean, she's kind of right with this. She's like, it already passed. Like it's over now. But what you can do is, choose how you're gonna move forward. And then he admits he's like the burden is mine and mine alone. Like it's my fault. And he gets up and like just walks away.
But
So
even that, no real emotion. It's him. I mean, we're only one episode away. I expect some kind of emotion, of just screaming or something. There's the anger. Show all the emotion is coming from Kana with all this.
but you notice how all their emotion stuff, unless it's like with their wife alone, has always been in places of solitude. Like whenever someone screams or shows frustration, and I think maybe deep down, Kamehameha is obviously worried and scared. But according to him, now that he's a king and the god of war, he can't show that presence of fear
Mm.
because remember, everyone's attacking Kayana for being fearful, where Kamehameha is being stern and stone faced, but he has no right to really be in this sense, right? So.
I don't know. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I get the whole history aspect, and we know what eventually happens with Kamehameha. But man, the way this show is depicting him, I'm not sold. I'm not sold. This is Mr. Too laid back on all this stuff happening.
And then that same night, we get Kayana with his family, and he's like, "We are getting out of here. Like, we're leaving." And then his brother or everyone looks at him, and they're like, "Where will we go?"
Go back to
And then
Kauai.
and Namake is like, "Well, we'll go where the prophecy takes us." And then Kayana's is like done with prophecy. He's like, we're not like there's nothing here in Kauai. Like we, I mean, well, we were nothing in Kauai, but Well, actually, he doesn't say that. It's
It's
Nahi.
Nahi says
Like,
it.
you're outcast in Mai's kingdom. Like,
He's like, I'm not. Yeah, exactly. He was like, I'm not leaving. He's like, we got nothing over there. It was like, you've been gone for a while. Pretty much everything was horrible. Nothing was going on there. So he wants to stay and ride this out. He doesn't want to run.
And he comes at Kayana too, which is sad given the context of what happens next. But he looks at Kayana and he goes, you've changed so much. Like, when you came back, I was wondering, like, what's gonna happen, what's gonna, where we're gonna go with this. And he goes, but I've seen in your face nothing but fear. And he's like, and I want to stay here and I want to face it. And Kayana just looks at him. He's like, you better be on that canoe tomorrow.
It was so funny, and that was a line. I should have recorded that one. Like, you're gonna be on the canoe tomorrow. It's like, I don't think I would have ever.
You're gonna be in the car tomorrow when we leave.
Exactly.
Like,
he was like,
you're gonna be on your horse tomorrow when we leave.
Yeah, here we go. Throw it out there. Go get on the canoe. Get out of here. But I get it also from his point of view. There was nothing going on over there, and with everything that's happening here, and with they don't know the impending invasion. They know it's happening, but they don't know that it's on their doorstep, which happens. I think 2 scenes after this. But already everything that's going on with the pale skin, I'm assuming that's it for that part of the story, because the ship took off after they did their bombardment. It was more like, we're pissed. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. We bombed the beach.
Got one more episode left, I guess. Yeah,
I know, but yeah, where's Tony? Where's everybody from that crew?
Just sitting on the boat.
Just sitting. They didn't hear all this stuff. They didn't hear all the cannons going off at the beach. Nobody runs ashore to say, hey, what's going on? Tony was like, think about that. Tony was like glue. He was attached to Kayana, right, for like the past 2 episodes, and then in this one, ghost.
Yeah, it's just keeping track of the characters is kind of wild.
Yeah, that's
and then they add more characters, and all of a sudden you slightly forget about the other characters. Like, had we not been like doing this and like obviously keeping track of the story,
it's not even that we forget, but it's also like the characters on scene forget. Kayana had not once mentioned any of his other buddies. He didn't say, "Where's Tony? Tony, get the guns." No, nothing. Where's John Young?
Someone's gonna be like, "Who's Tony?"
Right? Exactly. Who's Tony? He's like, "Yo, these dudes are making up characters." It's like that's not Tony's not a Hawaiian name. My cousin's Tony.
But Kayana has a little moment with Kupui where he's in their, I guess, their home, and he's sitting by the fire.
No, I'm not there yet.
You could use another image though, but he's sitting by the fire. Oh, this is soon. This is actually the next scene.
That's coming up. Yeah, I'll very
so Kupui says, I was wrong for standing by Kamehameha. If I only stood by you, all those people would be alive.
And for which is crazy, you know what? Just to go to your point, to the people that are maybe I haven't been doing all the reading with something. This person here is Kayana's wife.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's backtracking on the whole thing.
Mind you, she had a whole thing with Namaka and this whole thing.
Yeah.
But now she's saying I'm sorry, and then she starts coming at him. She's like, but like in reality, you have changed a lot since you came back. Like, you're not exactly the same. And then he turns to her and he's like, and you've changed too. And then she starts backtracking.
And then the brother peeks in and he was like, I changed also. You know what? We need to all talk. No, it didn't happen.
But she comes down to his level and she goes, we're stronger together. And I hope you can find that strength in me again. And they hold each other, and it looks like he's very emotional in this. He's holding his face, almost like he's just confiding in her, like letting down his guard a little bit for the first time since he's been back. And then we get Kamehana blowing out a candle, and then the credits.
Yeah, this is the longest opening so far, because even when we were watching, it was like, what happened to the credits?
Because some shows skip credits sometimes, like weirdly.
Yeah, that's true. Time. Some of them it save time. Plus, also if they have a lot. I forgot how long this one was, but it didn't feel as long. But man,
but then we skip to now we're back on, I believe is it Maui?
Yeah.
But we have the prince, the Kalikili's son, talking with this other guy. I don't think we got his name, but they're talking about how his father is just a mess, and now he feels like people are like, well, we failed you, to the prince, and he's like, no one's failed me. It's just my father has just been going down a bad path. Like, but then he says something He says something really heartfelt. He goes, "Sometimes when I look in his eyes, I see my father again." But
we've heard this before. This is another repeat conversation. I don't know if this is. Remember when he was talking to the lover?
yeah,
Right, same type of deal. You don't know
but he
my
never acted on
father's.
it before, and I was like, he was always in opposition of like just trying to justify his father, but also kind of against him at the same time, which was weird.
I mean, it's his dad. Everybody has one. Sometimes you get conflicted depending on what's happening.
Yeah, but it was like a
So
weird confliction where he was like, "Yeah, like he's messed up, he's wrong," and then next he's like, "You know what? No," like, and it was just, and it wasn't even like a separate like couple of seconds or whatever. It was like all within the same scene. Like he just never made sense of like where he was kind of going with his loyalty. And this was the first time where he was like, "Yeah, you're right. He's crazy." Like, and then his friend looks at him and he goes, "Well, history will view you as just." So we're thinking over here like, okay, he's gonna do something.
yeah. Well, they've been trying. His lover was trying to convince him to do it. He's like, "Don't worry, we got you back." And if this is another God, there you go. It's like, all right, well, then it's not just this guy telling me. I got some other people saying that they're gonna back me up on this. And his dad is losing it though.
Yeah.
Whatever drugs he's taking, he's
taking that
huffing.
fish oil or whatever.
Oh yeah,
He
whatever
thinks
that is, got him.
that fish poison or whatever. But
He's definitely out there.
then we get Heke planting something in honor of the people that died, and she says a prayer over them. And then Nahi comes by her side and says, death comes fast in war. And is this what is coming for us? And then he sits down and says, a warrior's end is death, and I cannot fight knowing my death would bring you so much sadness. And they kiss. I think for like the first time they should have, because I was beginning to think like maybe they're just close friends or something at this point. Like
What? No, we
I don't
knew
know,
they
bro.
were.
They
That was.
showed no. I know they said it, but like they didn't. Like I don't know. They didn't really embrace much. Like they're always with Namake. He's like third wheeling the whole time. So like I was just like,
well, until he was messing around with Kana's wife, then
they're all just messing around with each other. But
like,
because they made it so dramatic, like he kissed her, then she backed away, and then they kissed again. Like it was like this whole like.
Shoot, that's right. She did sort of back away. And how crazy would it be? Like, wait, I'm your sister. Like, oh no, we were all wrong. Yo, fix these subtitles, because man, but here that was my other trope with this show is that we're finding out that so many people are connected. Even like the new bad dude that shows up, he's cousins, right? With
No.
But the point is. No. There's we find out a bunch of them are related. They have some.
KO is related to Kapui, and therefore kind of related to Nahi.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, all right, but we assumed that she was his Nahi's wife.
But speaking of Nahi, speaking of Nahi and KO, so we have a picture of KO. All of a sudden, he's there nearby, and they enter the sacred grove. The I don't know how we say this, but New Grove. They're in this and they're chopping plants down, and that brings the attention to the overseer of the grove. And the grove, I guess, is a spiritual place, for everybody in this district. So he knows, KO knows what he's doing. He's attacking them where it hurts. They take the overseer, and you hear all this chopping. I guess Nahi and Heke fell asleep, and they wake up and they hear this chopping. They run over, and they get surrounded.
Oh man, that was brutal.
And they drag him over towards where KO is, and KO is also talking with the overseer. And he goes, the gods of the sacred grove. The overseer says the gods of the sacred grove will not stand for this. This is horrible. And KO says, we came to feed you to our altars. Come here.
This is the first time we've seen this overseer, right? I don't remember.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
You see, and there you go. We're almost at the end of the season, and we're getting new characters that just pop up. Like, all right, grab the overseer, and he's just hanging out in that forest area. It's like, hey, what's up? I was like, I don't know.
Then we see Opouni, right? Who basically was, I believe, Kaikili sent him to join Kiowa and like kind of maintain the situation. So he's probably gonna backstab them at some point pretty soon too. But he's there and he sees Nahi and he's like, oh, Kayana's bastard brother, like this and that.
Oh
And
yeah,
he's like,
talks all the smack.
you smell like my loincloth and this. And I thought they were gonna start fighting each other. They grab them, they grab Heke elves and they're holding them, and then he looks at her and he's like, run, and he breaks through and he doesn't even run far, he just goes straight for Koa and starts
Oh
beating the
yeah,
crap out of him.
that's being crap. I mean, she takes off. It was basically just to buy her some time. I think that was the whole point of this because there's no way he's gonna be able to take all of these guys on. So it's more like, all right, here, boom, I break free. You go run and then just go after the biggest one. It's a prison rule, right?
And
Like
he
the
had him
biggest one
good.
there. Oh yeah,
But I was thinking like, oh man, it's over now. Like he's just smashing his face. The guy's all bleeding. And then I mean, I don't know how he got leverage over him. Like how did he get back up? Oh, the guards picked him up.
the guys, yeah, they started hitting him from behind and then they pulled him. And then of course the dude gets up, he starts wiping his mouth, and in fact, he let him go. He said, let him go. And then he went one-on-one and he was giving him some deep rib shots. Oh,
I'm honestly, I misjudged KO's skills, man. Like he was really, he was hitting him at all these pressure points and getting him. He was like squeezing his rib cage, hitting him on the side,
like getting right underneath, just like digging under and like pulling. I mean, that's some brutal.
You remind me of like I forgot what type of kung fu style it is, but it's like using your opponent's attacks against them and maneuvering them around them. It's almost like it was like in Avatar: The Last Airbender, like Aang would walk around them all the time.
Wing Chun. Maybe that's it.
It could be, but
where it's like guided motions and then it's like coming, uses like do the motion. I don't know, but either way, he was hitting a lot of rib shots, some liver shots. It was all low shots. He was just going for the body.
Bro was throwing up at one point.
Yeah. He dropped him.
And then he like crouched and like slapped his knees and was like waiting for him to attack. Then now he runs over and he just stops him, hits him in the throat. Now he can't breathe. He wraps him around and then we hear a snap. Like
I thought
yeah.
We thought he broke his neck. Right? We're like, oh, he killed him. Yeah, we heard the crack. We're like, oh, this is it. But no, he was still alive.
We see him on the floor coughing up blood. He's like looking up, and I'm like, okay, wait, what's happening? Is he alive? And then in the back, it's kind of blurry, but we see Koa picking up a giant boulder that just happens to be there, and he like walks over, and then they so dramatically bring back Heke at this point, and she's screaming, and she's like, no, and he just drops the boulder on his head, and you hear like a.
That's why you laughing, man. Why you laughing? Yo, that felt that's horrible. This is horrible. Why are we laughing? I'll tell you why we're laughing. No, I know why. It's not because we liked him. It's the sound effect that they added. That's what it was. It was like, all right, we need like a squash watermelon sound. You have one? The audio guy was like, yeah, I got one. It was like, good. Put that here. Because once it dropped, they could have just had to go like a thump, but no, it made the splat.
And she's like, oh. It was so sad.
It was
I mean, I really liked him, and then you made a good point. It's like, well, that's why they killed him, because he was one of the main characters that we
exactly
because he was the only one that really called it as it was,
Yeah, he was us. He was for the viewer. He was our representation. Because every time we were like, yo, this doesn't look right. Sure enough, now he's like, yo, something's not right here. It's like, what's going on with this? Like, oh, well, Connor's, he's not dead. It's like, oh, no, he's dead. No, he's not dead. We didn't find the body. See, there you go. He was for us. He was the voice of the people, the watchers. And now he's gone. And he had cool hair. And, shout out to people with a lot of hair. I got my hair. I love his hair.
KO walks over and he's wiping the blood off his face, and they're holding Nahisa. She's like screaming and crying, and then she starts calming down a little bit. He looks at her and he's like, calm down, little girl. He's like, go back to Koala and tell them and give them my message of war, and let my cousin and Kayana's false gods come to me. Take her back alive. And then Opuni was like, oh well, I have some messages of my own. Which what. Did we find that out, or?
I'm assuming he assaulted her in some way because she went running off and he went after her, and then you heard the screams.
I think she was just no, because they dragged her away and she was screaming, like she was just letting out her anger.
I don't. Well, remember the scene right after that is her at the stream washing something, and crying. So I'm assuming it had something shady that way, because that's the only thing that would make sense. Because what's the message? It's not like she had some other stuff, an actual message, like, oh, what? And she whips out like a scroll or something. He said, no, you know what I mean? It's like this was like his own personal, and the way he said it, and just looked at her, that.
So we hear rumbling, and I was like, I thought a storm was coming, and you were like, oh yeah, because doesn't it always rain a lot over there? It wasn't that. It wasn't a storm coming. It was something else. But
oh yeah, no.
The plants, the trees are moving, the animals are freaking out and stuff. You see birds flying, and then Nahi comes back, and they're like, "Where is Head Kid comes back, and they're like, "Where's Nahi?" And she cries, and she drops down, and she's like, "Oh, Pony is here." And Kapui holds her, and then Namaka kind of grab their weapons, and now all of a sudden kind of has pants on again, and he's running out. It's like his outfit's
Oh, I was thinking about that when you brought it up before, and man, what if this is something they haven't even noticed? This will end up on IMDb as a goof. When the outfits change, I've seen that multiple shows and movies. Somebody has a watch on their right hand, next thing they have it on their left.
Don't get me wrong, he could wear whatever he wants. It's another day. It's not like a continuous scene. But it's funny how like he goes from like regular garb.
But even when it was the beach, from when he did the beach scene, and then when he went to report the 200 plus dead,
yeah, he was in
a different outfit, and that's the same day.
I'm assuming he wore that because he wanted to be in the council and be respected, and not wear like the paleman's clothing.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I could assume there.
See, we got to fill in the blanks. We're filling in the blanks.
So the Namake and kind of run out, and they find Nahi's body and kind of lifts up the boulder. And I was thinking his face was going to be crushed in, but it just looks. I guess they.
It's probably maybe it was behind. It was the back of the head.
Yeah.
Maybe he was face down and he dropped it. So the
he was faced up. He was faced up when he slashed him.
But it didn't look that way here.
He was literally looking up, and then the guy.
No, I know, but when we see Khan holding him,
it was on his head. It was because when he lifts it up, you see his face, and then Khan lifts him up and is holding his face, so you see the back of his head as he's holding.
Yeah, all right.
Because then Namake comes behind, and then they all are embracing him together.
Yeah, that was sad. But my other issue with this is how far, because it didn't seem that far from their camp, right? It wasn't like
I guess, but then they also cut it, so it's like
I
don't know.
That's my issue, and we've seen this before, where they're on this part of the island, and there's a lot going on, and we're going based off of the time of day and the lighting to determine what's happening here, but it all looks like it's within the same day, within a few hours.
It had to be close to them too, because that's the Sacred Grove. I'm assuming that it was like nearby.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like in a different district or across the island.
But then it can't be too close, because then everyone in their village would have heard. Yeah, they would have heard all the screams. They would have heard the chopping of the trees,
But we then see Namake cleaning the bones of Nahi, his bones and his skull, and he's wrapping it up, which is really interesting. And I brought up the point of like, I wonder what this process, because like I don't know, they steaming off. I don't know the question.
Yeah, we don't know, and that's what I'm saying. That would have been great.
The only thing I'm basing this off of kind of is like when I saw 28 Years Later, and they did that for one of the characters, and so I was like, he like made it so clean that the meat and everything fell out. Whatever.
Well, but he definitely cleaned it, and he prepared the bones.
Yeah.
For burial, and it would have been cool to see something like that. Just the whole process. Too gruesome, but they brought this up before because this happened with Captain Cook. So
look, if it's
have it here, exactly. Just so
curious about it.
They could have had a little montage. Had some music playing or something in the background. Just so
that would be interesting.
And
I'm realizing that we could say the show's slow and stuff, but there's a lot of things culture-wise that keeps it interesting. A lot of things that like I would have never known or whatever had I not seen the show or had a friend from the islands and stuff like that. So that's where I'll find like, comfort in like not having a crazy action filled episode.
Well,
But
we have plenty of friends from the island. They're all here on the channel, putting in the comments. They're
no,
filling
I
it
know, I
in
know.
and
But I mean, but like
realizing
if I
that.
didn't have this show, is what I mean. Like if I didn't
Oh
have this
yeah,
show,
yeah, yeah,
seeing
yeah.
this stuff, we wouldn't even be interacting with you guys. So it's nice that this show brings everyone
Yeah,
together.
no,
But
definitely, definitely. This is the part of history that we don't hear about,
I've never heard any of
right?
this, and I love history.
Especially now, I'm sure in Hawaii, in school, they hear about this, right? The story must be told, but here on the mainland, history class never brought it up. They talk about how Hawaii joined the United States and the whole thing, and that was kind of brutal, but they don't tell this part of the history.
So
So
they put the body in a wrapping, and then they put it in like a bag, like a backpack, almost like satchel kind of thing. Um,
yeah,
and kind of puts it on his back, and they all embrace, and Namake is chanting and kind of starts climbing up the side of a mountain from where they are, and he climbs and climbs as the sun is rising, and when he gets to the top, he puts his bones in a little like encasing underneath like some stones, and he covers it with some rocks, and he's crying, and he says something really nice. He says that he will tear through men and gods to make right what happened to you.
yeah.
So
It was emotional. Now, this scene, unless it happens in the last episode, if you see some of the images for this show, the key art, there's one where they show Kaana on a cliffside overlooking the ocean, and I was like, "Oh, this is it. This is that scene. Then that still image. We're gonna probably see that far angle shot, and he's going to give his roar." And no, we don't get that. We see him standing there overlooking the ocean, and then he screams out. He pulls his, Arnold
he's
Schwarzenegger from
crying,
Predator.
he's sniffing, it's this whole thing. It's dramatic, and the sun is coming up, and I feel, that's such a
Man,
probably terrible feeling.
if I was filming this is what I would have done. Would have had that far off shot. Would have had him screaming like, "Oh!" But just emphasize with the echo, like just the loudness of it, and then just show the other guys in their camp looking up like they heard that. Like what
Mm.
is that? It's like, oh, it's like, oh, they know, or do something like that type of thing. Like just get like
He's
that.
pissed.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I
Well,
guess
they
they found
can't. They couldn't
nice.
hear it because KO and all of them are by a volcano right now,
Yeah. That's a whole other.
and they're singing with the Kamehameha's overseer from the Grove, and they're talking about getting power from the gods and this whole thing. And then he turns to the guy, and the overseer has his eyes closed. He's just like, all right, and he just pushes him into the volcano.
That was very
Wow.
surprising. Again, this is through their whole ritual. This is how they get the power, or at least he does. And okay, I didn't see that
He's
coming.
like
And so
he's like the gods of the desert will show us our way to victory. And then Opaluni is there, and he's like, I'll have victory with or without men, and just walks off, which I don't know what that was about.
because the guys were training, and he felt that they were weak. Remember, he was like they were wrestling and doing the whole thing. And
That's
they're like, "What?"
later.
Oh, that was later.
Yeah,
I'm,
they were
I'm
just
mixing that
standing
up.
there.
There we go. All right.
Then now we cut to Kaikili. He's taking his hallucinogens. He's drinking
Oh
from that
yes.
that
Oh,
bowl again,
he
and
needs to stop that.
he walks towards his bone altars, and his son walks in, and now he's grabbing some of the skulls from the mound that he has, and he's like filth, and he's giving all these names to them, and he's throwing and breaking things, and he's saying that they no longer give him the spiritual strength that he needs, and that he needs new bones for the god of thunder. And at this
Sounds like somebody hooked on drugs, right? I was
yeah.
like, I need that new fix. Oh, this isn't strong enough. I need the good stuff.
And his son is watching him desecrate this, and he's thinking, and then he goes at him. He takes out like a bone dagger or something like that, and he runs up to him, and he goes to stab him, and instinctually, Kahia deflects him and stabs him in I guess the abdomen,
Yeah,
or like
got him
lower,
right.
yeah.
Got him in the stomach.
And then he comes to, and he's like, my son, call the healers, call the healers.
Then the guy was like, "Yo, the healer's on vacation. He's on another island." Wait, oh my lord! You said he could go. You said 2 weeks. I heard you. You gave him 2 weeks. No, I mean,
Like, oh, sir, you killed the healers.
so here's the question: Do
No,
you
but
think
we don't
he's
know what
dead?
happened.
Do you think he's dead?
No, not yet.
You don't think so?
No.
I think it'd be cool if he died. Not cool that he's dead, but just for the story, because then the Mad King that they're calling, he would definitely go mad. He would he's lost, and then the people would then turn against him, and then we'll see from there. But I don't know. That was a deep shot in the lower area there, so we'll see if they can heal that. I don't know. I don't know if they can heal that.
Then we go back to the kingdom of Hawaii and Koala District, and we see the overseer. Well, they're talking about the overseer as being the first sacrifice of war, and they're also telling Kamehameha that he was killed, and Kamehameha is like, oh man, like we gotta get something together, we gotta fight, and they also told them that Koa is standing with Kaikili's army, so now they're together, and yeah, it's getting bad, and then all of a sudden, Kaamana's like, well, we need Kayana's weapons, we can fight with his knowledge. I think we have an audio insert.
Oh yeah, we got this.
If Maui joins Kiowa, and Kaiana's knowledge of their army and his weapons will help us. Perhaps we can.
We do not need Kaiana and his red mouth weapons. We will attack Kiowa with the power of the god of war.
That's right, Kratos is coming.
That creepy music every single time someone says something that is not going to. You know what it feels like? It feels like when you play those games that you make the decisions for, and then the music plays oh man, you made the wrong one, but you can't change it. Like that's what that felt like.
The Until Dawn. It's like that. And oh man, what was it? There was a whole series. The
all of them.
The anthology, Dark Pictures anthology.
Dark Pictures anthology. I did those reviews. Those were
fun. Yeah. That was good.
Kamano's dad is now pissed at her for even speaking up. He's like, you fight for Kayana like a person who has lost themselves. You have to serve his vision, not cloud his mind. And then she turns to him. She's like, I've done what you've asked. And then he goes, well, you failed, and that's my mistake. And she was like, no, it's not your mistake. You were wise to bring me here. You cannot see anything behind your old ways and your gods. This will not help him to be a king. Do not offer. And then he just turns around and he's like, don't offer your counsel to Kamehameha. He no longer needs it. He's not hearing nothing. He doesn't care.
And that brings up that other question, because we didn't hear Kamehameha say that. This is the dad saying that he doesn't need your counsel anymore. So what if Kamehameha's like, where's my, oh, don't worry about it. She's good. She's doing some stuff.
He is also deflecting everything she's saying, though.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to hear it.
He has a whole team of guys telling him what to
do. It just contradicts everything that we know about him before, because he kept saying, hey, we need you. He listens to you. You got to feed him all this stuff. And then now it's like, no, you're supposed to just stand by him. That he has a bunch of other wives somewhere that can do that. That are just going to be, yes, husband. Yes, you're the best. Yes, you're the chief. Yes, you're good. No. So I don't understand why now he's upset. Especially when he was wowed by the red mouth weapons. Remember? When they brought him to the boat. He saw it and he was like, oh, wow, we're going to win. He had a Kool-Aid smile. This is great. But all of a sudden now, no, we can't use it.
Maybe because he realized that Kamehameha is so set in his ways. And also when Kayana broke onto the ship with the guns and everything, like maybe he's just like, oh, this is too savage. Like we can't fall down to this level. I don't know. I mean, again, he's putting all his faith in the gods and in prophecy, and he's thinking that no matter what, it's gonna work out.
See, but if that was the case, then why even care about the weapons? Why even go on the ship? It's like, hey, we got all these guns. I don't care about, take those guns on the boat and go back to where you came from. We're not using them. But no, once he heard about it, he was wowed. He saw it. He was happy. But again, flipping the script on this makes no sense. The show is not really explaining why he has a change of heart.
Yeah. Then Kayana's getting all his guns and stuff ready. He's putting everything down. And his wife is like, do you plan on going alone? What about Kamehameha? He's like, we don't need him. We go together under the dark of the Hilo moon. And then Kopoi is like, well, I'm coming. And then Namaka is like, yeah, she knows the area more than anyone.
I'm going to use that line when I go to meet up with people. Okay, I'll see you at the Hilo moon. That's it. Let's bring it back, people.
And then Kopoi finds Kamano training with the sling. Like, she's gotten really good. She's hitting the tree consistently.
From a distance. She was at least 50 yards out.
And she's like, hey, yeah, we're gonna go and kill Koa. And she's like, alone? He's like, you're not gonna survive. You must convince Kayana to wait. Kamehameha is planning to form his army against Koa. You're not going to win. You will need the red mouth weapons. So they both agree that they need each other in some capacity.
Mhm.
They need the men, the other ones need the guns. They can't have one without the other. And she says something really clever here. She says, men spend their whole lives training to be warriors, but they fear being wrong more than fearing death.
I don't know. I think she might be right. She might be right. I'm never wrong, but if I ever was wrong, I would probably feel that way. But
good thing we're always right about everything, right?
Exactly. Tell them I'm always right.
I'm always right.
Right, there you go. But still, it throws me off with Kana talking about, all right, he's pissed. He wants to go and get payback, revenge for his brother's death. But the other brother's not even there. Like, why not bring him along, or at least the brother volunteered? He doesn't. It's just, yeah.
No, he was there. He said he's gonna go. All three of them are gonna go.
No. Well, before that, because also when
he
Kana
told
was at
Namaka to
the
stay.
chief side. Oh,
yeah. But he told Namaka to
part.
stay, and Namaka was like, "Well, I'm not staying." And then a couple was like, "I'm not staying either. Like, we're all going." But all of a sudden,
here's the other thing. Tony, when we did see Tony a few episodes back, he was training people on how to use the guns. Remember? They showed them.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was training them all. So it's like,
so it doesn't make much sense also for Kana to be like, no, we got this. These guys, the people in the tribe in your kingdom there, they were being trained, at least in that part, to use the weapons. They know how to do it. So why not? That was the whole point.
It was just a whole betrayal with Kana. They just saw him as a traitor for a second, and they tossed him away. And they tossed his idea because they felt maybe it was too radical. The whole idea with Kamehameha was like, let peace be to them, and peace will be upon us. You know what I mean? Don't attack. We'll be fine. And then that was juxtaposed with this whole situation when they killed everybody. So it's not gonna happen. But Gaomano finds Kana, and she's like, if you go to the desert for Keoa, you're not gonna come back alive. I was like, I know you want to avenge Nahi, and your family will follow you anywhere, even to death. But do not die for Nahi. Live for him. You've come too far in your grief. Which is true. And he sees that. He's like, oh, man, you got me there.
But what is he supposed to do? What is it? What is that saying? The whole discussion, and what did it just pack up? Like, you're right. Let's just go.
No, she wants him to consult and come back to
no. Because
she's telling him not to go right now. She's telling him that because he's packing. He was going to go with 3 people to fight against a whole team of people. Even with the guns, he would have to reload and everything. It's not going to happen. And she's calling it like if everyone's running it with guns and does it strategically, like they were talking about, they'll do it. But again, Kamehameha is being stubborn, and so is Kayana in this sense, because one is not listening to the other. Because one believes in prophecy, the other one just wants safety. So
I'm still not sure what the God of War is supposed to do, right? Because how is that supposed to trigger? Because that's what Kamehameha is saying. No, we're just going to do it with God of War. That's all we need.
It's a protection. Because one, his uncle never lost while holding that totem of the God of War. So with that spiritual power or so, they feel like they have the God on their side. They're going to be better in battle than anybody else that they fight against. And that's the same perspective that Keoa has. But even so, he's still willing to fight against them, even though they have that. So he wants that, and he wants to claim that title, because then he'll feel unstoppable, and then everybody will respect him. But we get Hecate like tying back her hair. I don't know what exactly she's planning to do here, but she watches this man in the stream picking up fish, and then she creeps into the lake and she picks up these plants and she looks at them. And I know, since she's so good with plants and stuff, maybe it's a poison, maybe it's something. I don't know what she's gonna do with this yet, but she picked up this plant. So I feel like she's gonna poison someone or do something with it.
I mean, the scene, the camera definitely emphasized what she was doing. It zoomed in, and you see her pick it up, and she almost points it to the camera, like, "Look what I got."
Well, for those that are really good with like identifying plants, maybe it's a plant that like we,
or maybe on the island, maybe they know. Again, people in the comments, if you know what she's picking up and what she plans to do with it, if that's the case, make some poison. But then that means she's going to go on that mission as well.
Yeah.
So
maybe she could dip the poison in a knife or a dagger or sip it. I mean, I don't know if she's gonna pour it into someone's drink, but
pour it into some drink. She's got to get close for that. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna bring her in. Nope.
So then Kamehameha is standing by the area where all the totems are, the whole God of War statues and stuff, and he's drinking something, and then he stands, and then he sees Kapoi, and he goes, "If you have come here in defense of your husband, you'll waste your words." And then she was like, "Well, if you'd allow me to speak, I'm not here on his behalf. I'm here to talk with you." She goes, "If you fight without Maui on your side, you will not win. You're red. You need the red mouth weapons." And then she's clever for this in a way where like it's kind of naive of Kamehameha, but she goes, "The gods gave Kaiana the red mouth weapons. Let them speak as the voice of Ku. Kaiana has followed prophecy his entire life, and it has led him here to you." And he's just like,
Yeah, because they're not even thinking about that. They're thinking about the whole prophecy for Kamehameha, but not how Kaiana fits in the whole thing. That he left and that he came back with this knowledge, and maybe this
yeah,
is part
bro,
of the
like, you
prophecy
have
to
the
come back
answer
with the
right there,
knowledge and with the weapon to help
which is
you.
the frustrating part. This whole time, because it's the answer every single episode. And obviously that's like leading to the idea of like, come on, bro. But it's like, yes, every episode one minute he loves Kana, the next minute he hates him, the next minute he loves him. It's like weird. But I
It's
mean,
too much back and forth, especially when it's the tempo. It's how the pacing of this episode, because a lot of craziness happened. We have a horrific death. We see Kana does the whole burial thing with the bones, getting ready to go for combat, for revenge, and then it's like, nope, now we're gonna deal with these back and forth scenes of trying to figure out, are they gonna go, are they gonna reunite? No, you can't bring everybody. Oh, let's go talk to Kamehameha. No, all right, he's not listening. All right, now my wife is gonna go and talk to Kamehameha, see if that works out.
A lot of infighting.
Yeah,
but this next scene, so Kamehameha it's nighttime. Kamehameha is standing by his guards. Kana comes out of nowhere in his garb again, walking towards him. The guards stand in front of him. They don't let him pass. And Kamehameha is like, "Leave us." And he turns to him and he goes, "I'm sorry for your brother, and you and your family are right to seek revenge." And then Kaiana says, and this is very, very interesting. He goes, "I have led my family from everything they know and love. Still no home, still no king," which was crazy to say in front of Kamehameha, "and the blood of innocence on on our hands. And now no Nahi."
well, Kamehameha is not the king. He's just a chief of that area, but
I
like the
know, but
big.
it's like they're treating him like a king. You know what I mean? At this point, he's like, "I'm king."
Yeah.
Basically, he's like, because right now it's a tale of two kings. It's Keoa who's the king, but then it's Kamehameha who's like, I'm probably most likely king. But Kamehameha says, "I have tried to be a fair chief. I cannot spare what is to come and the blood of my people." And he goes, "I've been working so hard to feel my uncle's voice, to find, a piece of him and all this stuff. And maybe the voice has spoken, but it's a different voice. Maybe it's his voice is coming through something else, the red mouth weapons." So
Finally.
boom, we get them working on their violence,
Oh,
shooting.
man.
Kana's wearing pants again.
Yeah, they're hanging out together. They're bros. They're like, yo, we got this. I'm going to show you how to shoot. Yay.
They take one shot, switch guns, take one shot, switch the gun. And then it's funny because we see Kapui and Kawaman on either side with the smoke blowing in their face. And they look at each other and they're just like, yeah.
Yeah, right. This is it. We got this. We got this. But they don't. They don't.
And then lastly, we get Keoa on the top of the volcano again in this desert, and his people are wrestling. And then Opooni's like, "Yeah, look, let's hope your gods are ready because your men aren't." And then all of a sudden the volcano starts to rumble, which is again coincidentally perfect for Keoa. He stands up and he's like, "Here we go."
I'm pretty sure people in the comments, I heard a dragon. I heard it roar. I heard that roar. Then of course he walks over and he puts his arms out. And
No dragon, bro.
I'm just saying. I heard it. Yes, I know it's no place in this.
The roar of the volcano.
It's just the way the sample they used for the roar sound like a dragon.
That would be absolutely insane.
Right? It's
Hawaiian dragons flying.
Hawaiian dragon comes down and is like, hey, we don't know. But
well, I mean, dragons have been depicted in like almost every culture.
Every culture has had their
version of that in some way, some weird way. But
still, just to stand that close, the heat must be crazy, right? It's got to be burning up there.
Yeah.
So just their feet alone must be burning. But yet they're up there, and I guess they feel that that's where they train, they prepare. It makes them stronger. It gives them energy, because that's what he kept talking about, right? I'm gonna get the strength. You're gonna give me the power to win these battles. And
he goes. My gods are ready for what comes next. Keep it going. And he tells the guys to keep wrestling. Yeah. And then everybody else back at like the other district sees the smoke in the air. And I don't remember exactly who said this line, but someone says the gods speak for Keoa.
It was Kana.
Kana says that?
Yeah, he said he looked over it. He said the gods speak for him. So,
and then you hear that weird tense music that we heard.
Yep, and then it ends. But I was hoping Kamaya looks was like, yeah, but we speak with red mouth. Oh, dum, 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 dum. You know, right? Yeah, get the guitar. I'll bring the metal. You got Slayer playing in the background. But I was hoping we would see something happen at this episode. Clearly, everything's going to happen in the final episode. That's going to be the
fight Keoa and Kaikili in one episode.
I guess so. Unless they plan on leaving it with a cliffhanger into a season 2.
I totally thought they were going to kill Keoa like 3 episodes ago, and then use it to unify to go against Kaikili. And then after they fight Kaikili, they think all is good, and then the sailors come back, and now it's season 2.
Well, there you go. And even that, where's Tony? Tony again. I figured in this scene with the weapons, once we see Kamehameha learning how to use a gun, we're going to see Tony with all the other soldiers training.
Where's all the soldiers? They were not.
All of them. They're not there. They're not there. I don't think they left. They're probably still on the boat, just hanging out. But they have to have heard all the commotion going on.
They're there because they're not leaving until they get what they came for with the guns. You know what I mean? That debt has to be paid. Unless they use the guns and everything's fine, and then they're like, yeah, we need something.
Unless they're on the other side of the island where Vi was telling where they can get the resources. Remember for the deal? That was part of the deal for the guns. And maybe that's what they're doing. They're already farming or gathering the different materials that they were part of the deal so they can bring it back on the ship. We have to fill in the blanks because the show doesn't tell us. And Kana doesn't even mention them anymore. So either that or did they just leave? I doubt it. John Young definitely didn't leave. We know
they're trying to have just an episode with every like we know those are watching, like we know that they're on the ship just chilling. Like we know that. It's just the idea that it's not being referenced or they're not helping with the situation or like, you know what I mean? Like that's the aspect that we're talking about. So
yeah. And John Young, we know, isn't on the ship. He didn't want to leave the island.
This episode,
So where is he? He's not doing anything. We don't hear anything from him. I'm assuming that the other ship that did with I'm blanking on his name. Marley, yes, that they're gone. Well, Marley, is he alive or not?
They tossed him in the water.
They tossed him in the water.
Yeah, what?
He could have swam to shore. I don't think he was that far off, but maybe he didn't know how to swim. Not everybody knows how to swim if they're on a ship. So maybe he didn't know, and then he sank to the bottom and he died. We don't know. But they left that open. I'm assuming that the ship, that captain was just upset. That's why he shot off those cannons. Bop, bop, bop.
Yeah, he's dead. He dipped. I think he's done.
And then he's done. Because he's like, I wasted my time, money, the whole thing. This was a waste. And then
he's definitely going to tell people. So
yeah.
But yeah, that was that episode.
And overall, it was sad. But it's there's a lot of filler. A lot of repetitive speeches about, should we do this? Are we going to do this? You need to do this. Oh, maybe I will. All right, let's talk about this later. And then there's another
like what more needs to be happening. Like you got everything you need to know that. You need to do this. Like
you have invasion coming on. These guys are threatening. They've already killed your seer, and Kana's brother's dead. And again, we just see him.
200
just hanging around. Yeah, 200
died. That's crazy.
40-something dead, and it just seems like it's moving very slow. And it's not that the show is moving slow, but it's the way that they're putting Kamehameha is moving slow. he's very undecided about what to do next.
Well, let's hope he fulfills that prophecy the next episode, so we have something to really engage in. But yeah,
well, we'll see. This one definitely has to carry it over. But hey, how do you guys feel about this season so far? Is this what you were expecting? Were you expecting a little more? I myself was expecting a little more.
Do you think there should be a season 2?
Not at this pace.
Well, for the audience, do you think there should be a season 2?
Oh, yeah. Whoops. Yeah. Oh no. Go ahead, people. Do you think there should be a season 2? Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out with the viewerships. Also, I don't.
We'll find out how this ends.
Apple hasn't really said much.
Depending on how it ends on the season, if it ends in like a decent ending where it's like there's like little captions and things about what happens next, then it's like, yeah, it's done. But if it ends on a cliffhanger and then it gets canceled, that would suck.
There is so much more that happened in this story. Yeah, that the last episode has to fly through it. I mean, it has to be action nonstop. I mean, they have to throw so much, and I don't see it happening. It's, at least from what I've read of the historical aspect of everything that took place with Ka'ana and Kamehameha and the whole process. I don't see that all happening in one episode. It just seems like too much. It's just too much. But hey, we'll see. All right, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. If you like this content, click the like and subscribe. If you don't like this content, click the like and subscribe. There you go. Just stick with us. We got a bunch of
watch us, just like and subscribe.
Exactly. If you don't like it, you're upset about my headbands, please like, subscribe. And we'll be back for the last episode. And we got other stuff going on here. I'm still covering the Terminalist Dark Wolf with Lawrence. We got that. And then Josh and I are going to be covering Gen Z. I was thinking
Gen Z.
Yeah, I was thinking. Why did I say Z?
Gen Z because you're thinking of like the like millennials, Gen Z, like the
yes, get them too. Let's go after them. Let's film a whole show there. All right, everybody. Thanks again. We will see you next week, everybody. Peace.